And I think Profusion was trying to copy Huda Beauty exactly to the T, down to the disappointing formula, and they succeeded. Hi guys, welcome, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Elaina. Привет! I'm a Russian-American makeup and beauty addict. I love buying everything affordable, inexpensive, Walmart, drugstore, dollar store, AliExpress. I'll test it all up here and I'll pass the savings to you guys. So this is one of my inexpensive makeup shopping haul videos. I'll do with two palettes from Profusion. They look like this. They're both very similar. So we're going to be testing this and with different primers, different intensity, different pigmentation, as you can see, and we'll be talking about what works, what doesn't, and what I think about them. They're $5 in Walmart, so if you're interested, then keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell. Upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 AM Pacific time. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it and leave me a comment. Let's get right into this video. So I got this in Walmart, as I said. They're $5 each. I was grocery shopping with my husband, with a face mask, with sanitizing wipes, the whole bit. And at the end of our grocery trip, I'm like, let me go to the beauty. You wait for me with the shopping cart because, you know, they don't let the shopping carts inside. And I went in. I went to town. He had to wait there and wait and wait because I was sitting there looking through all the stuff. And don't forget to sanitize your palettes, or disinfect, I would say, with the disinfecting wipes, because outside, you know, well, I'm a little OCD about it. I sanitize, disinfect everything I buy. So I got 4 of them. So today we're going to be talking about 2. So I got Spectrum and Neon, and we're going to be doing 2 looks. I'm wearing one of them with 2 different primers. That's why they look slightly different. And I'm going to swatch them real quick. So there's only 10 shades per each, so the swatch is going to go fast. So let's start with the Neon. So that's going to be our first look. They're both very 80s themed. They're very similar. That's why I wanted to do them both in one video. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to go with the first row. Psych. Doesn't really swatch that well, but it's very nice. There you go, second swatch. Second one is Gnarly. The names though. So this is very much not a dupe, but similar to Huda Beauty. Why does it look less orange than it should be? Anyway, Huda Beauty Neons, it looks very similar. Next one is Rad, R-A-D, Rad. So this is it. Yeah, swatches don't come out well, but actually these colors are nice. Next one is Bro. So that's Bro. They're very dry, so you have to have very tacky wet base for it to work. So I'm just saying right off the bat. So the swatches might not come out well. Next one is Heat Wave. Heat Wave swatched really nicely, actually. It's a nice color. And next one is the second row, Sunnies. It's very yellow, and I don't think it's gonna swatch well. You can barely see it. I don't know if you can. Next one is Logical. It's a lime green. Let's hope it shows. Here's lime green. Next one is Etsy. It's like a very turquoisey. That's swatched very decent, actually. Next one is Seriously. It literally says S-R-S-L-Y. Seriously. I'm just laughing at these names. They come up with some stuff. So actually it's swatched better than it performed in my eyeballs. Maybe if you use it in a different way, it probably would work better. The next one is like seriously. Like totally seriously. I'm having my Valley Girl moment. Here, so that's the first. Yeah, those are not the best swatches, but I think it's me more than the palette. So that's real neon, real pretty. So I'm gonna do the other side of my arm. The second one is called Spectrum and looks very similar. It looks very 80s as well. So this one, I think somebody suggested what it looks like. I'm gonna look it up, and if I find this picture of the dupe, I'm going to post it up here. If I don't, then I don't know what it is dupe of. So here's the Bermuda. Bermuda is really subtle, transitional shade, very light blue. Next one is Lucky. Green, of course, Irish. And makes me think about my friend Teresa, which I love and I miss. Here's Lucky. If you guys don't know Teresa yet, check out her channel. I'm gonna leave her channel in the description box. She does very nice videos, very good hauls, all the new releases, and she's got some bougie makeup, and she's been doing some parodies of songs with the current situation theme. It's very funny. She has great sense of humor, and the voice, holy cow, she can sing. So those singing videos are very short if you're interested. Here's a yellow. Yellow is called Marigold. She does like a little, like she changes lyrics, make them funny, and she posts them. I'm like, move over, James Charles, trying to be a booty guru and a singer. Teresa beats him any day. So next one is Beat. It's very bright orange. So that's that. Next one is Ember. That's the only one I did not use on my eyes today from this palette. Ember actually swatches really decently. It's Ember, orange. Next one, next row. Peacock. Have it a little bit in my outer corner, low lash line. I have to really twist my arm because I'm dumb. I don't know how to swatch right. Next one is Nautical. Nautical is such a pretty color. But as you'll see in the tutorial, how I used it and why this looks different, you'll see how to use it and how to get it to the full potential. So that's Nautical. Next is Rain. Rain is R-E-I-G-N. It's a very royal purple. Again, very powdery, but it looks real nice on the eyes. Next one is Rave. Very bright pink. Very powdery. If you just saw the pan right now, it looks like a war zone already. Oh my god, it falls out everywhere. But it does perform on the wet base. Very similar to the other palette, pink. And the last one is Totally. So this one is kind of 80s, I guess, too. But this is all mattes. So both palettes are almost all mattes, except for one shimmer. The real pigmented. Totally is real nice. So that's the second one. From here down to here. And here's the first one. It's very similar. The second one has more rainbow colors. That's why I did the rainbow look. So if you guys are interested to see how did this look, then keep on watching. I'll do a short-ish tutorial and we'll go into the final thoughts. So let's see how this compares to Huda Beauty neons. So since I don't own any Huda Beauty because I mostly do dupes, oh well. I heard that neons are not that great. I remember Tati Westbrook wasn't impressed. And this looks like kind of a mixture of a couple of neons of Huda Beauty, which run for $29 each. And this was only $5 on Walmart, so of course I had to give them a try. So this is what happened on this eye, and we're going to recreate this or try to make it match. And since I already have the brushes painted in that color that I'm using, I know which brush I'm using next. I'm not gonna lie, I had trouble with some colors, and you'll see. So we'll see if I'm gonna have the same issues with this eye as I had with this. But the first color definitely is great. I have no problems with this. And this is the Heat Wave, the red one. So I'm going right for this, and I'm gonna use a small brush from Moda Brushes from BoxyCharm, and this is BMX 420 detail brush. I want a small one because I'm just gonna kind of shape out the crease. So I'm gonna shape the cut crease first. And when you do things like that, you don't have to bring the eyeshadow all the way down because you have to clean the underneath anyway, so it would be kind of a waste of an effort to put it down. So I'll just use the brush to map it out and try not to bring it too much down so it's easier to clean up. So I kind of drag it out a lot. So the dragging out of the tail was actually the afterthought at the end, so I might just adjust that at the end. So next I took a little bigger brush, and this is a Morphe brush. Just compared to the other one, it's slightly bigger. And I'm going into the brow. I'm just noticing the name now. Weird AF as usual. Brow is orange, and there's the gnarly is orange. Who came up with that? Brow gnarly. Oh my god. I'm having too much fun with that. So, going to orange. Isn't that the best, the shade names? When you start reading the shade names and just funny or stupid. Sometimes they're cool, but most of the time they're kind of funny and dumb. I don't know, maybe I'm just being shady as usual. But Profusion is about to get red for filth. Well, for $5 you can't really read it for filth. Using the same brush, I'm going to gnarly. The names. And just buff it out. I gotta say that the warm tones, they blend like a dream, and they're pigmented. They go on unset base easily. I'm using P. Louise base, by the way, I forgot to say that. So, see? No issues at all. Just went on easy, easy, easy. And I use a little light color here too, light orange. So that was easy. So now I'm going to use a Q-tip and a little bit of micellar water and clean up my cut crease shape, which is pretty much already cut precisely the way I would like it, but I'm going to clean up a little better. I'm going to use this flat brush, and this is the brush that came with the set from Luxie brushes from BoxyCharm, and I'm going to cut crease with P. Louise base a little cleaner. So I'm going to do this off camera because it's just boring, and I'll be back with cut crease. Okay, crease is cut, and I'm going to use, now here's the tricky part. That's where I had trouble with my eyeshadows, because some of the blue ones and the green ones didn't touch well, and that is the tea, and I'm gonna show you. Well, maybe I'll get lucky with this eyeball, because the other eyeball, it took a while. So I'm going to use an angled brush with eyebrows, and this is from Moda Pro brushes, and I'm going to dig into the Psych, this one. And this one is like shimmery green, as you could see in previous swatches. So I'm going to dip dry first, and then I probably have to spray it because that's what happened. That was the tea. It was not very pigmented without the spray. So I'm just lining the cut crease. Kind of a thicker line because I want it to be visible like this side. And it attaches, but it's not the most pigmented way. So if you can see, I mean, it's shiny, you can see it, but it's not the best. So I'll use primer water from Primark. I'll spray that. Okay, so now we built it up a little bit. So you can see it's a little more pigmented when you use it wet, and it has a shine, so that's okay. So next one, I'm going to use, I went with a different water on this eye, but I think I like to go from a bottom up from now on. And I'm going to use the blue, the bright blue, seriously. That's exactly what it says, seriously. And the other one is at sea, which is kind of a teal. I mixed them together a little bit because that was the worst color probably in the palette. It looks very pretty on swatch, but it's powdery. It does not want to attach. I'm going to show you. And hopefully it's going to do the same thing now, because, you know, I don't want to throw shade for nothing. So let's go to seriously. And it's like a 80s themes or something. Because the next shade is like seriously. It's totally 80s, I think. Yeah. Alright, let's go with the blue. So you see it kind of falls out, but because it's so powdery, it does not attach to my skin, which is a good thing, so my base is not going to be ruined. But, you see, kind of like it's bright here, but it's like almost see-through there. And this eye is much brighter because I use spray even on matte. Usually we don't do that, we don't spray mattes, but this one, see, it kind of fades away. It's not really bright. So I have to use the blue and spray it. It's very powdery, like real powdery. I mean, for $5, you can't really expect much. Sometimes I get lucky with some Profusion shades, are really nice, but sometimes you get a dud. And I think Profusion was trying to copy Huda Beauty exactly to the T, down to the disappointing formula, and they succeeded. And yes, that was a shade, and that was a read. There wouldn't be a video without Elaina's throwing shade, right? I have to. Because it's fun. It's fun to throw some shade and spill some tea. So you see, when I wet this formula, it works. The fallout is ridiculous, but it comes off immediately because it's really dry formula. So, and I'll keep building the blue until it builds up. So I went ahead and started applying green, lime green, into the main lid and between the blue and the shimmer shade. And I'm kind of going between the Logical and Sunny's, these two colors. And just kind of tapping between to create really light lime green. Yellow and green makes it lighter green. And this one is sort of decent. I would say it's more decent than blue. The blue and turquoise are not very pigmented, and they did not want to touch unless I sprayed them, which is really odd to spray the mattes. But some places on my eyelid are not as pigmented as the other places, so I have to spray. I'm using a real flat brush, by the way, and this is a Morphe unnamed flat brush, just to build up the color. Okay, so I blended as much as I could. I struggled, I'm not gonna lie. The blue one is probably the least pigmented. The green one, lime green and yellow, a little better, but still patchy. And you can tell the patchy. You can see a little bit here. So I had to use a lot of spray in all of them. So that's a problem. The warm tones, beautiful, like a dream. The shimmer is good, but not for the detail liner like this. And the green and the blue, yeah, they're not real great, but you could probably make a subtle blended look with them, but not precise like this. So for the waterline, I'm using the Shockwave Neon liner. This is lip liner, but I'm using my, so whatever, LA Girl. And this is like really, really purplish. So I'm just gonna line. Okay, so I lined my waterline and also added the white ColourPop liner to brighten up the very, very waterline close to my eyeball. And we're going into the like shade. I have to say it like that, like, seriously, this one. So I'm going with another small brush. This is one of the motor brushes, just like a smudgy brush. And this is a good shade, I'm going to tell you right off the bat. The warm ones really perform well. It's beautiful. It's bright, bright, bright pink fuchsia. And it goes right into my low lash line. It's funny, my makeup group just had 80s challenge like 2 weeks ago. And I'm doing kind of a 80s palette now. It's not absolutely clear if they're consciously trying to dupe Huda Beauty here, or it's just a neon theme, but it's pretty neat that they did this. I like it. I have to clean up and do the eyeliner, the eyelashes, the whole bit, and I'll be back. And you can see it falls out, but if you clean up, it really cleans up easily. The fallout is not deadly in this eyeshadow, it does not stick. So that's a positive about being powdery AF. So I'll be back with the finished eye look and we'll talk. So here's the finished eye look. So both eyeballs done. Look pretty even to me. Let me see. Yeah. I think I matched one to the other very well. So here's a close-up. The eyes, the neons. I mean, it came out nice. It's just that the pigmentation for some tones was great, but for some tones, it was very patchy. It was hard to build up, it was patchy and dry. But with all that said, I would say all the warms perform great, very pigmented, attached beautifully to the base. And the shimmer performs well. These two, the problematic ones, they probably would work better if they're used on their own, kind of a wash of color, but when you try to build up on the line, it was difficult. These two, not as bad, but still a little trouble building them up. So overall, I would say, just for my good friend Teresa's sake, 1 out of 10, I would say it's a 6. And the reason I wouldn't even give it 7 because I had trouble with so many colors. But other than that, it is a nice palette. For $5, you can really play with all these neons. And it's not a bad buy. You get 10 shades for $5. I mean, it's not bad. So let's move on to the second look with the other bright palette. And then I'll give you my final thoughts about these two brights. Okay, look number 2. I spot cleaned the first look. Yes, I just took my eyes off and kind of touched up my base. I mean, it's not bad. Fixed. So Spectrum. Spectrum looks very similar to the first palette, except it's all mattes. There's no shimmers. One was one shimmer, the first one. This one is all mattes. And it looks very similar, but it's all rainbow, pretty much. It looks like it's asking for rainbow. That's why we did the rainbow. Again, I struggled with patchiness and lack of pigmentation of some of the blues. Blues are hard to formulate, so I'm going to do something looked down upon and something that people say, no, you don't do this. For the first look, I used P. Louise base. For this eye, I used e.l.f. Concealer, which works, but it was a little still dry. So I'm going to use a white lipstick by Wet n Wild. And this lipstick is more tacky, and it's kind of a more, we would say greasy, I guess. So it's bad, I guess, because it can grease, but the shadows are so dry, so it might actually work. So I'm gonna add this white on this eyeball So hopefully this eyeball is gonna come out a little better than the other. So we'll see. And by the way, I'm wearing a Hyundai highlighter on my brow bone. I use the same thing for the first video. I use Hyundai for the brow bone and the inner corner. And this looks like this. This was on my AliExpress haul video. And this is number 202 shade. It's very pretty. It's very bright. None of these palettes had any brow bone highlighters, so I just use a regular face. I use it on my face as well. So I'm trying to pack the white so the eyeshadow has something to attach to. Okay. So let's try going for the first shade. So it's a typical rainbow look we created. I created. Why do I say we? We, me and you together. So, nautical. Really pretty. I like this kind of purplish blue, but this is probably the hardest shade to formulate. I'm using the same brush as I used for the first look, and I went through the color switch. Thank you, and you're welcome, Teresa. I use color switch for this. So I'm going right into my outer corner with that small motor brush. And we'll see if it builds up a little better than the other eye. Oh, it does. Look at that. Look at the difference. 1 and 2. So now we see. So I guess we have to treat the cheap palette with the cheapest base. Because this Wet n Wild lipstick, I think I got it for Halloween. It was like a white lipstick. And I used it as base before. It really, really picks up color. I don't have problems with creasing usually because my eyelids are very dry. Some of the oilier skin people might have problems with that. And this kind of thing, this lipstick might just go down the hill. But for me, it never had any problems. I'm going to Bermuda just a little bit to fade out the color. It's not the best blue. It's good transitional shade, but it's not very pigmented, so I'll just add it a little bit closer to the brow bone. So as you can see, with a white base, it got more pigmented, but it's still patchy. Like it lays here and it has a little bit of like a spot that's a little lighter than the other. Just try to build it up. I mean, for $5 eyeshadow palette, I guess you can't complain, although when I shop on AliExpress and I buy some cheap crap from there, sometimes it's better than Profusion palettes. Although I like Profusion, but something about these formulas that hit or miss. You know, some of the shades are really good and some of them really bad. So now I'm going to the next tone with a bigger brush that I cleaned on a color switch. And we're going into Rain. This one, Rain. So I'm gonna go Rain. I'm gonna go into Totally and Rave. So is this gonna be 80s too? I think so. Bermuda, Lucky, Marigold, Beat. Well, you probably already seen it in swatches. Totally, it's totally 80s. So I think all those bright colors, it's very 80s. They're very similar palettes. So let's try Rain on that white lipstick. Yeah, definitely it's much brighter now. It's much more pigmented, much more bright. So I think this eye is going to come out much better than the other. But they'll show you, you know, how they perform and what to do with them. So maybe they're not hopeless. So I think it's for the first look I used the same white, stickier, greasy, I would say, base. Probably would have been better. Because the eyeshadows have no moisture. Don't you love the word moist? Everybody always laughs at that. Just fading it out and blending them together. The blue and the purple. It blends very easy together, I would say. And I think this base really did something. So going into a Totally, the darker, more of a kind of darker fuchsia. Just to give it a little bit transition. I'm still using the same brush, by the way. I clean it up a little bit on the color switch, and I'm going to the bright pink Rave. And Rave is very powdery, like very, very powdery. But it's really pigmented. It's really pretty, look at that. Yeah, I think that was the winner. This base did the trick, totally. Like, totally. Just like the shade. So you just work between all shades together, going into a purple, the fuchsia and the pink. Marry them all together. Clean it off on the color switch and kind of fade it out. Yeah, this is gonna be like a rainbow 80s look, but look at the difference between this eye and this eye. It's a huge difference. I wish I would have gone on this eye with that white base right away, because this looks very washed out and this looks like pow. So it's gonna be a busted look, but it'll learn you something. So you guys gonna win from watching me struggle. So now I'm going to orange. I'll use even smaller brush, the same one I used in the first video, just for the sake of using the same brush, because I don't want to wash too many brushes. I'm going to beat and marigold. So the orange and the yellow. So obviously the next two shades in my rainbow-ish kind of look. Yeah, the orange wasn't really pigmented either on the first eyeball. The first eyeball. So what are you guys doing now? Are you sick of sitting at home? I know I never talk about the situations going on in the world, but I think everybody's tired of hearing it. So the last thing you want to hear it from us on YouTube. It's like, enough already. I've seen it in CNN and other channels. So this is a place to have fun and forget about what's going on. So it's powdery, but it's blending well. And it's very pigmented on this eye, way more pigmented than the other one. So just go in between the colors, you know, to emphasize and bring back the brightness of each tone. So we don't lose the orange and we don't lose the pink. Okay, so I put a little more of a white base on my low lash line, and I use silver eyeliner from Colourpop to line my waterline so it pops. So now I'm going to the green, and for all of you girls that love green, prepare to shake from excitement. I know you all like green. Lucky. So this is like a typical lime green, kind of looks like a Mama Mitchell green. Of course, it's not a Mama Mitchell quality, but you can build it up, as you can see. And the other eye, it worked out. It wasn't bad. It is powdery, just like the rest of them, but being used on a wet base, a very, very sticky base, it works. See that? Let me zoom in a little more. So the green really works. See, it built up, no problem. I really, really wish I did the same thing in the other eye. The difference between colors is huge. This one is so much better. So now, you know, if you get this palette, whack some cheap white lipstick on the eyelid first. And then go with the eyeshadow. So I'm going now with Peacock color, by the way. This one. Just kind of blend in. I use almost all of the colors except for the Ember, the brown one. Because brown. Like, who cares? We don't like brown on this channel. Except for the occasions that I do neutral looks. and it's like everybody shook. She did. Natural look. That's not right. Just blending out everything pretty much now. So what I did with this eye look, I put glitter, of course, because glitter. But this is gonna be the last step after I put the eyelashes and liner. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this eye with the liner lashes. I used cheap lashes, by the way. These are from, I think they were from Penny's. And I using Milani eyeliner, and I'm using mascara that's actually bougie. Thank you, Teresa. That was her gift, and that was a Bad Girl mascara from Benefit. And I'll be back with the last touches of glitter, and I'll do it on camera for y'all. Okay, so the eyelashes, the eyeliner, the whole bit is done. So I'm doing the last part. My favorite small brush. You can get this in any brush set. This one is from AliExpress. There's a very fine tip, so it's perfect for glitter eyeliners. I'm using my Care Beauty eyeliner. It's not an eyeliner, it's actually just liquid glitter in Stalker shade, and it's very purple. I thought I needed something like a fake cut crease the way I did here, so I just take it off the brush with a little tip, and we're just gonna draw a fake cut crease, and hopefully it's gonna look like the other one. Okay, so this one is not a twin, but it's a sister, so it came out similar. So the low lash line, wanted to add a little wing of glitter, and I'm using one of my favorite colors, Magic of Care Beauty, and using the same brush that I already cleaned up. So I'm just gonna get the green, and I'm gonna go under. And hopefully I'll do a better job than the cut crease, because cut crease is a little busted. Okay, here's the look. They're not the same, and for all kind of different reasons. So lesson learned, for this cheap eyeshadow palette, use cheap, greasy, I would say, base. Anything that goes against your instinct. This white lipstick worked wonderfully, and the regular base that I used didn't really work that well, and this came out real bright. So I'm just looking in the mirror. This eye looks okay, but when you look at this eye, it's really pigmented. So yeah, so now you know you can buy this $5 and use something really creamy and white as a base, and it's gonna look much better. So that's it. That's our final look, the second look out of 2. Let me know what you guys think. Do you own these palettes? Do you have it? They're cheap in Walmart. They're very available. The makeup, there's no shortage of makeup now, so you can go get yourself $5 palettes. So these 2 are not that bad. So ratings 1 to 10, Teresa way. So I rated this one pretty low, for a reason, because I didn't treat it the way I treat this eye. This eyeball is the best out of 4 eyeballs. Well, you know what I mean? 2 eyeballs for each look. But this one came out the best because I used the cheap, slimy, greasy base, which you're not supposed to use, but I used white lipstick on this. And it picked it up real well because it was very tacky, it was very wet, and it worked. On a dry base like P. Louise or dry concealer, it won't work as well, as you can see from this eye. So, from a rating of 6, I'm rating it up to 7 because actually it performs really well. The warm tones really look nice on Neon palette. And for a nice dupe of Huda Beauty Neon, well, sort of a dupe, not completely, but you know what I mean. You can use this, and all of them are gonna work well if you just use the right base. This one, I think, performs even powdery, just like the first one. This is your typical rainbow palette. It works really well, and it's dry, just like the first one. The formula is very similar, but I think all the warm tones perform as good as in the first one. Even the cool tones here weren't that bad. So I would rate this one an 8. actually. You know, if you consider it's a Walmart $5 palette, that's not bad. I would suggest buy them. If you want to get something real cheap and bright, they're not bad. If you use them correctly. If you use them like your expensive palettes, they're gonna suck. You can be like, it doesn't work. But it does. If you just use very tacky wet base. What am I saying? I'm tired. I just did 2 eye looks. My language, English language, and Russian language don't work anymore. So let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment and follow me. I'm on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm more active on Instagram. It's better. So it's the same, Elaina Glam. I'll post a lot of looks there, more looks than just YouTube. So give this video a like if you enjoyed, and leave me a comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and occasionally Saturday at 11 AM Pacific time. So I'll see you guys in my next video, and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.